Hi, Annie. Hi, Heidi.
Hi, Belinda.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Perfect Child podcast. I'm going to start with your bios. I'm with Heidi and Annie of Kindred Gardens. Kindred Gardens is a community organization that hosts garden gatherings in Southeast Portland, Oregon. Their mission is to support families in nature through community connection, environmental education, and seasonal celebration. Annie is a mama, partner, school garden educator, doula, and herbalist. One of her greatest passions in life is connecting with others in shared joy and love for the natural world. In creating what started as Partum Gardens and now has evolved into Kindred Gardens, she gains inspiration from the way ecological systems function and thrive in diversity. She wants the same for ourselves and our children. Kindred Gardens is revillaging.
Mm.
Heidi is a mama, somatic coach, retreat leader, and gardener. For the past 2 decades, she's facilitated community based experiences to help others feel a sense of deep connection to themselves, others, and the natural world. She co founded Temenos Rising, a Pacific Northwest collective that offers experiences to nourish sacred connections in community. Becoming a mama was the most transformational time of her life, and she is committed to supporting others into postpartum so that they can be the parents they long to be. Yes.
Mm.
Anything else you two would like to add to your bios?
Mm.
Well, now community organizers, I guess. It's
Yes.
funny to call ourselves that, but in our fifth season now, uh, yeah, we have kept showing up consistently.
Yeah. Yes. And thank goodness for that.
I think another thing I'd like to add too is an auntie, because for the
Mm.
last 5 years I've been able to be with Annie's son and now her daughter like every Wednesday, and I know
Mhm.
them so well, and to learn about community over time, and like these kids know me and I know and love them, and I get to watch them grow and connect them to the earth. And like I just feel like that's like a real role in my life now because of Kindred Gardens and how we've all grown together as our little fams.
Yeah.
Totally, not
And
to stop.
I
Yeah,
mean,
not to go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, and not just our families, but there's families who have consistently shown up for the
Mhm.
past 5 years. So we get to be aunties to the extended village and really hold it for so many families.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say too. And the
Yeah,
families that consistently show up are now aunties to your kids as well,
true.
Yeah.
right? And you're just like you're saying, you're building the community that we all seek.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like that. So, I mean, the commonality in both your backgrounds is connection and community, and your desire for that for the now and for the future. And I am also of that mindset. So we're all on the same page. And that's why I love Kindergarten so much and what you guys are doing. I think there's nothing more important than Kindred Gardens and how you've evolved, because I remember last year everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, the kids are getting older and I don't know if they're going to still do this Partum Gardens because their kids are getting older." And then all of a sudden you guys are like, "Well, let's just expand this program to include the older kids." And it's like, "Hallelujah." Everyone's so happy, and there's nothing better than seeing all the kids of all ages hanging out. So just share more about how that came about.
Totally. I feel like, Heidi, unless you want to go, I just feel like real quick, we saw a need. There's like a big hole in programming for young ones. Typically, camps or other programming doesn't start till like age 6 or 8. And there's really a foundation that can be laid that we as Pardon Gardens have tried to lay with really little ones, and that we wanted to continue to build upon for kids that are like 3 to 6 and older. Really, we are welcome anybody who's interested. We call it Kindred Camp. It's not a kids camp, it's like a village camp or a family camp, because we want people to come and be together in these activities that we've crafted to be interactive and a collaborative process for like truly the whole family. Yeah, it was out of a great desire to like keep, yeah, the families that have grown with us around and engaged and together.
Mhm. Yeah, because there were many times that we've had mamas, they're having their second kid and they come and they're like, "Is my older kid allowed here?" We're like, "Oh yeah, like once you're postpartum, like once you've passed the threshold, you are always past the threshold, and our older kids always need this space to connect, and we need this space to connect." And so it was almost like we couldn't ever convey that message enough. We're like, you're 6-year-olds, you're 10-year-olds. Like, please bring your mother, bring your partner, bring everybody that is involved in this family. And so it was like we were just having these conversations, and having one-offs. And then you're like, wait, we need to like really, really do like this needs to be a part of our like in the brand and in the logo and in the name. And then it kind of just like it's almost like it just we kind of just like followed the need.
Yeah.
Yeah, so grateful for these brainstorming sessions where you do follow the lead and you're not afraid to jump in and see what happens and just provide a space for these families. I really love how from the beginning, Pardum Gardens, you've always been so inviting and you invite people who are thinking about having kids. You don't even have to have a kid to be there and sit and immerse yourself in like seeing other mothers with their babies and hearing their stories and also getting the benefits because oftentimes you'll bring people in who will do massage or do Reiki. I did pure bioenergy for, your mamas and it's like everyone gets to be a part of it and it's so just collaborative and I love that. And
Mhm.
can you share what it was like when you launched Kindred Gardens that first day when you guys like, okay, today's the day. What was it like? What crafts did you do? What was it like?
What was going on? That was the day we put plants in the ground.
Yeah.
And what were we doing that day?
Yeah, it was more of like I think it might have been a new moon probably. And it was like, we should do this. Pardon Gardens was formed on a new moon. I do think that we were just ready. We were like, we should do this now. It was the beginning of the growing season. And we were like, okay, well, while we're doing this, while we're putting plants in the ground, while we're like kind of creating this new space in collaboration with a site partner, we wanted to launch it. And really it's language is important. And I feel like as Pardon Gardens, we always like tried to um be inclusive and not just talk about mothers but talk about birthing people and partners are always welcome and again like that language piece having to answer to folks and be like yes of course you can come it was like all are welcome and this hopefully really helps kind of like seal that in people's minds yeah
Wait,
it's just time.
and also, actually, we had the first gathering where we were like, this is our first gathering since Kindred Gardens. Like, this is it. And everybody was like, the gathering was, I don't know, maybe 25 families that day or something. And they were like,
Amazing.
woohoo, like, we're on board, we're here for it. But our first celebration as
Yes.
Kindred Gardens was the Beltane. It was our first
Yes.
seasonal celebration. And Annie and I threw down so hard. We were like, no, Annie was the visionary. She was our visionary mother who was like, we're getting a maypole. And I was like, what? And there's the thing between Annie and I when she's like, I'm going. I'm like, cool. If you go, I go. Maypole, let's go. We're
Yeah.
doing it.
I love it.
And it
I
was
love it.
such a beautiful celebration. And there was something about this beautiful unfolding of um, Kindred Gardens coming about, and then us doing the reveal and then having the seasonal celebration and a maypole. And a few of our community members made amazing food for it.
Yes.
And we had like 60 families show
Yeah.
up. And thank goodness Annie had the thought to like bring in a photographer because everybody was looking so dang beautiful with their flower crowns and their
Yes.
maypole. And like there is such a need for earth-based family gatherings and celebrations, seasonal celebrations. And we were, I mean, I was really humbled. I was like, oh, there's a lot of people here. This is
Oh
amazing.
gosh.
And Pardum Gardens grew out of such a community need. You know,
Yeah.
like within that first summer, we had like 40, 50 people gathering. And now Kindred Gardens, like all of our older kids are coming. Like
Yeah.
Annie said at the beginning, like we've been an auntie to other kids for 5 years, and those kids are coming. And now their parents are like, oh, I'm coming for Kindred Camp and like these seasonal celebrations. And my kids belong here. And that's the thing is like Gardens, like everybody belongs. So Beltane was this sweet first gathering where everyone showed up.
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, we all belong in the garden. It's so beautiful, y'all.
Oh my gosh, the pictures were amazing. I saw it on your Instagram feed and I was just like, "Oh, everything looks so beautiful and so special."
So special. Yeah.
No, we're
So
glad.
special. Oh my gosh, you guys, I mean, look at Annie, literally, you're like radiating this whole time. You're beaming. You're smiling. You just like you can't stop thinking about like the magic that you guys are bringing. You guys are just like going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, the world is moving. The world is moving and it's moving in directions that I think a lot of us are like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I want to continue to move in a direction of a world that I want, of a world that
Yes.
all of our children deserve, of a world that all of our families deserve. And so the world is moving at a fast pace, and I'm going to keep moving towards beauty and towards joy and towards connection.
And towards the earth and
Yes,
earth
always,
stewardship.
always on the earth, bare feet most of the time,
Yeah.
hands in the soil happening. Yeah. Yeah.
So when I first
Love,
came to you
love.
guys, I'm sorry.
I just said I was like, I love this woman. I love
I that you two, you guys are literally like soul sisters.
We really are.
Okay, so when I first came to you guys, I came as a volunteer because when somebody told me about it, I checked out your website, I saw your Instagram, and I was like, what? These people are doing amazing things. So you were operating out of Brentwood Community Gardens, which you're still at, and it's such a beautiful space, right? For mamas and babies to connect. And this year, you seem to have taken more of a stewardship role at Green Thumb Wellness Space to encourage more connection to the earth and the natural world, including earth-based seasonal celebrations. So obviously, your first launch of Kindred Gardens was just that. Tell us more about your vision for this Kindred Gardens.
Annie. You want
Belinda, I think your fault. Your sound just cut out, but I think you were saying like tell us more
Tell
about.
us more about your
Yeah.
dreams for Kindred Garden.
hmm.
Yeah. So we gather at a site called Green Thumb, which is a really magical space in Southeast Portland. It's like a 12-acre site that hosts many different partners. There's demonstration gardens and Black Futures Farm is there. There's a community orchard and learning gardens lab, and there's a lot of folks happening. It's like a pretty activated space. And our dream for Kindred Gardens is to have a space to grow within that site. We've partnered with people all around, and now we're working with parks to develop like a pollinator native medicinal meadow space adjacent to the community orchard there. And our dream is for this space that has held us all so sweetly the past 5 years to continue to be a space of community activation, a refuge for families to go to know that there is a space that they can rely on every week where
Mhm.
they can go and be seen and witnessed and held together in a web of resilience and community. Um, and our vision is that, yeah, that this space can not only support our programming, but that it can support the local folks there in the community, that it can support the trees, that it can support the non-human kin, that it can support our site partners. um, I think we're really like kind of solid as a foundation now, and now it's like, okay, who can we partner with? Who else can we build with so that our families are being held as well as many others?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, are you saying that Brentwood Gardens or Green Thumb
Hmm.
Wellness Space works under Parks and Recs?
Yeah, it's joint with Parks and Recs and Portland Public Schools. There's a school for special needs students on site, which is amazing. They do landscaping and a lot of plant-based curriculum. It's incredible. It's a high school.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's called Community Transition Program. They were one of our first partners. We love them. And PSU, Portland State University's Learning Gardens Lab, is on Portland Public Schools site, and then the other half is Parks and Rec. It's a very complex and it's an amazing site, and it's very complex as well, like with its site use. And but
Yeah.
for Southeast Portland, it's a green space like no other, truly. It's such an incredible hub
Yeah.
for the community.
Yeah.
And spaces like this are hard to come by. There's not many others like it, truly, in Portland. Um, and yeah, we're lucky to be able to be a part of it.
Yeah, because I was wondering, because you've had this program there for 5 years, has anyone from Parks and Recs been to see it and see the effect that it has on the community? Have they spent any time to, stop by every so often just to see how how rich the offering is?
We
Heidi, you
were
want to take that one?
we were just commenting about that last week or little bit ago that we feel like we would have so much support from the city or from Parks and Rec or um, maybe more openness to us having a formal agreement in this space if someone from the city were to come and really see what our gatherings look like, what families are saying about their experience. They're like such beautiful connection between kids and when we have elders there, like there is such a positive experience happening and really with so many families and we support so many, hundreds of families
Yeah.
throughout one growing season. And yeah, so we do feel like it would be have a positive impact if somebody from our community and from Parks and Rec were to come and see, especially someone in Parks and Rec or who work for the city who is a parent themselves. Like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe they didn't have this experience. And we would love for all of our like the families in our city to be supported in this way. And
Could you
and and
imagine?
and to like and hopefully that it could grow from there that like Portland isn't the only city offering
Yeah.
earth-based family care.
Yeah.
We've
I
been
mean,
really fortunate to have a couple of supporters, I'd say, and like champions. Like early on, we got
yeah.
an agreement to use the community orchard, and we were like so grateful um, to Laura at Parks and Rec. And then more recently, David, he's head of community gardens. He just started there. He is an incredible champion of ours. Um, so we do have people rooting for us, and they're very busy.
Yeah.
Like Parks
Right.
and Rec is a huge entity and organization, and they're under their own budget constraints, and
Yeah.
they're managing a lot. And of course, we would welcome them to come to a gathering. And we have recently invited them to do just that so that they could see what we're up to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and essentially, because they're so strapped and they probably don't have a lot of extra funds or whatever, it would behoove them to partner with you guys because as Kindred Gardens, you're doing so much of the marketing to really
Mm.
bring people to this space
Yeah.
and recognition to Parks and Recs. So it's like that's a no-brainer.
Right.
Thanks, Belinda. We agree, yes.
Right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think even too, when we think about working with, if we were to work with, if we were to be on Portland Public School space, even within this space, we were like, wow, I feel like our like society and our culture is like so segmented and like, oh,
Yes.
this is elementary and this is preschool and like
Yes.
keeping our kids really divided, like obviously in developmentally appropriate ways. But we just really saw that our program was a way to like keep families together and working together
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and that like if we can support families to thrive, then like that only feeds into healthier systems, like if we have really connected families going into elementary school, then I feel
Yeah.
like that would only support kids later on and support their families. Um,
Absolutely. Just that once a week touch in to um, relax your nervous system.
yeah, bless.
It's that feeling, right? That when they grow up in that feeling of being in nature, being in community, they'll be able to be more resilient when they move forward in life because they will have remembered what their body felt like when they were in that space.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
So you have said that, it would be great if Kindred Gardens is in Southeast Portland, but if there were other programs that started in other parts of the city outside of Portland, et cetera, right? So there's more spaces like this. Can you share a little bit about how Pardum Gardens, how you even started Pardum Gardens? So if anybody was like somebody who lives in Oregon City was like, you know what? I want to start something like this. What are some
Mm,
basics, tips that you could give somebody?
Well, the first one is find somebody who's as dedicated, passionate, and crazy as you are to take something like this on because you definitely don't want to do it by yourself.
Mhm.
yeah.
I this like, oh, we just need to be in a garden came through and I texted Heidi the next morning and was like, I think I want to start some like postpartum garden thing. And Heidi was like, literally, that's all I want to do. And I was so lucky. I've known Heidi since I was 18, and I'm just like the luckiest person to
Oh,
have her on my team. So find a teammate, find somebody who's on your team, and find like many people. I think one thing that we've learned over the last 5 years and like going through pregnancies and postpartums ourselves and being able to like I've been able to rely heavily on Heidi and Heidi's been able to rely heavily on me. But we've grown our team a bit. Um, and it's really good to have like maybe more than just two, like have three or five. So find people who are just as passionate about it as you are. And then, yeah, talk to your community gardens, talk to your green spaces. Heidi and I both had been a part of programming on site before we started Pardum Gardens, now Kindred Gardens. And so we were both familiar with this space and I lived 3 blocks away. So I was like, this makes so much sense. This is such a special spot for me and my own postpartum, like walking my son around. Um, yeah, I think I don't know, Heidi, how did we start? What would you tell
well,
people?
I have an extension of just essentially what Annie has said, but that like both of us, yes, had a connection to this space. We also had really strong relationships. And I think, like she said, start talking to people who are like really, already connected to these spaces. But one thing that like really for us, I think Annie started the Instagram page and we just started sharing photos of like genuine connection. There
Mhm.
wasn't anything being wildly curated. We weren't marketing. We weren't like reaching out to, collectives and trying to get families there. We started with 5 people and just taking photos of like hands planting plants.
Mhm.
And like us every week, our kids getting dirty, our like kids mixing soil and like making medicine. And so really I think what brought people out was these offerings is offerings for connection and offerings to learn things. But then once people got there, we were like, oh, we don't even need to overprogram. People don't need
Right.
education. They don't need all
Uh-uh.
this stuff. People need a space to connect to where they can literally be safe with their new, like through the rites of passage of birth, like their new body and their new identity, and to feel safe in a place where they can just like rest on the earth. And other people who also are like, hey, I see where you're at. That's a really tough spot. It's also really beautiful and like you're gonna get through it. And oh, you need a breastfeeding resource? I got you. Like people
Mhm.
who could just have these conversations in a really safe space. And so it was really like we just needed to yeah, hold a container for people to come and feel safe. And so sometimes it might just really be a park for some people. But for us, like that gardening piece felt like really so that felt really important to Annie and I. Like getting people's hands in the earth to put plants in felt really important for us. And like me and Annie's like real longing is to like grow plants together, build garden. Like, so we're like, we love it. Why wouldn't other people love it? But I don't think everybody needs that. Like, I think people just need to build in a space where there's trees, where there's grass, where where there's, gardens already built.
Yeah.
And I think
Mhm.
people sometimes just need a reason to like get outside and then just take your shoes off. And the consistency. We were like 9:30 to 12. Come whenever you want. Leave when you want.
Mhm.
What works for your baby's schedule? Oh, it doesn't work to show up today. Like there was no judgment or stress or pressure.
No
They were
sign
like, I'm
up.
sorry, I haven't been here for 2 months. We were like, cool, right on time. Like, boy, we look forward to seeing you when you come back.
Yeah.
So I think some of those little
Mhm.
details have really supported our community to just feel really nourished when they come.
Yeah, I think that's the beautiful part about your offering is that it's free
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
that is what, m- you know, new mamas are looking for.
Yeah.
Easy, easy, and a place to just put down their burdens.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put them down, share them, not feel shame and overwhelmed by them, but a space where they can really just like lean into it and ask for help or ask for resources.
Yeah.
To share in the joy and the overwhelm of that new parent role or the new developmental phase of like your 5-year-old or your 7-year-old, be able to have a space where you can voice it and be with other people who are also in it is
Yeah.
special. So
It's
special.
so special, so
Mhm.
important. And I love how you guys invite volunteers to hold the babies or tend to the toddlers when there's something else going on. If the mom is getting a treatment or something, that's really beautiful too, right? Because so many times mamas they can't leave the child.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's nice
Yeah,
to be in a space where somebody else is watching your kid and it's not another mom that has a kid too.
I
totally.
mean, honestly, some of those testimonials that we've gotten recently, those are the ones that make me cry when a mom is like, so I was 10 weeks postpartum. Nobody else had held my baby, but like my partner, maybe my mom. And then here I am, and I'm invited for body work. And then somebody comes and offers to hold my baby right next to me so I can actually, for the first time in 10 weeks, relax and receive care. I'm like, oh my God, everybody deserves that. Like, that is
Yeah.
so beautiful to hear that because that was what we wanted.
Yeah.
I remember, Annie, do you remember the first time we witnessed somebody receive body work?
Falling.
Annie just starts bawling. She's like, this is all I wanted. And like I remember that day because I was pregnant with Avi. I didn't have my second kid yet. And I was able to hold her baby. And Annie had baby Odie. And this woman goes and receives body work. And I was like, oh my God, someone needs to hold Annie because Annie's so
Oh God, I just wanted, it's like, what do people need postpartum? I remember somebody being like, "You're trying to make me be where, when? Like, there's a time I have to be somewhere, and
happy.
and I'm supposed to be getting body work and all this care, and how am I going to do that? So how can we carve out spaces? How can we create spaces where we're creating some of that like ease and resource that people don't have access to? Like that is expensive stuff.
Right.
And everybody deserves that care.
Everybody deserves that.
Yeah, we're trying to just cultivate a community of care, truly. Um, and yeah, we just thought about what we wish that we had in our postpartums.
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it's
just
really
wanted a
special.
pedicure.
I still haven't gotten one. Dang. Soon.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah, that's really helpful. I like that you dialed it down to just kind of the bare essentials, which is just find a partner, a couple partners, meet regularly from this time to this time. And if you just
yeah.
have that container that's constantly there, And because the three of you guys or the four of you guys are meeting anyways and having a good time and then welcoming other people in, that
Yeah.
just starts the ball rolling. And
Oh,
we could have a Kindred Gardens in Milwaukee, in Lake Oswego, in Oregon City, in Malala. Like everyone's having babies.
yeah.
Totally.
We want them, they should be everywhere in every city and every state. Our friend started apartment gardens in Philadelphia. Um, yeah, it's so needed. I remember just shouting to moms across or parents like across the street, like, come to it. And I still do it. Like we are a word of mouth gathering. And
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that like has created a little bit like a sense of safety is like there's other folks who are telling me about this. I mean, there are folks who find us on the internet and that's great. Um, but yeah, we've never like it's always been like kind of a community web that we've been weaving.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, what's upcoming for you guys? What are you seeking? Do you need donations? Do you want people like what do you need?
Mm.
Ooh.
Yeah. What do we need?
Right now I feel like we we really want to continue to expand like the doulas and the presence of folks that aren't necessarily parents at gatherings. Because I think, like you were saying, that it's not another parent with their kid. Like parents, we are lacking capacity. And one thing that folks who may not have kids or are in a different season of their life with their children, we would love to have y'all at gatherings because it makes there's like people who are bringing their offerings, whether they're doulas or they're body workers, bringing in some of that like extra facilitation would be really nice. We kind of got back to basics last year and was like, we're going to be in the garden, we're going to be connecting, but folks really deserve that care and our current systems aren't providing that. So how can we provide the things that folks really do need? So I feel like if you are a birth worker or a body worker or have any sort of skill that you feel like you want to share with families, please reach out to us. Like we are so open and excited to collaborate with folks. Um, so please reach out to us in that regard. And we would love folks to support in our efforts to partner with Parks and Rec. I feel like we just put out a big call for testimonials and we got some really beautiful ones that Heidi was referencing earlier.
Yeah.
And now it's like we may need to push for like a bit of a campaign to remain where we are currently gathering. Um, so if you haven't sent a testimonial yet and you've been to a gathering and or you just believe in the work that we're doing, like even if you haven't come to a gathering, but you're like super like, yes, this is what people need, we would love your support in our efforts to remain at Green Thumb and to continue offering our programming there. Um, yeah, Heidi, you got anything?
Mine's not really nothing to add on to that in terms of like the requests, but I do have this. I'm holding on to this vision for not only Annie and I's children, but like the children of our community that have been connected to this space. My hope is that we can continue running Kindred Camp. So yeah, with a formal agreement that we can keep offering programming for kids that is just true earth connection and connecting them to each other because like Annie referenced earlier, the fast-paced world, like I think that we live in such an overwhelming it's just overwhelming and things feel really fractured right now. And I think kids really need mentors, elders, guides that are also connected to the earth and reminding these kids of how special and valuable they are and how important it is that we're all stewarding our communities and stewarding the natural world. So I just am like holding this vision that Kindred Gardens continues to grow for the sake of our children.
Yeah.
Um, I'm being a little selfish right now. Like I want my kids to have this. I don't want to have to spend $400 to $500 a week for my kids to go to a camp for a few crafts. Like I want them to come to a gathering where they can really be in rich community and learning special things about how to cultivate and grow and tend whether that's to the earth or community. I want that for my kids so badly, and I'm just gonna keep doing Kindred Gardens and hoping that I'm like hoping for that vision to keep growing and that it becomes more of a culture and lifestyle that we're creating little tenders.
Yes. And thank God you're being selfish because the more selfish you can be, the more action is going to happen.
Totally.
Okay, so for anybody who's living in Southeast Portland, please contact Kindred Gardens. Do you want them just to contact you through your website?
Yep, you can reach out. Our email is listed on our website. It's kindredgardenspdx@gmail. Reach out to us there. Or Instagram's great too. Yeah, or come to a gathering. You don't have to sign up to come to gathering. You can swing by, you can leave whenever you'd like. But yeah, if folks want to reach out and get in touch with us, email or Instagram's great.
Um,
And
Also, Belinda, you said Southeast Portland, but we have folks coming pretty
all
regular from
over.
as far as North Portland and Beaverton.
Vancouver, there's a family who comes from Vancouver all the time.
It is far, and I think that your efforts will be paid off. And Belinda, you had mentioned that like that pregnant folks will come. And I think the value in coming as a pregnant person is that you can orient your nervous system to a new place and to a new community. And so that when you show up, we can share your meal train. When you
Mhm.
show up, people are like, oh, like, welcome welcome back, welcome baby, welcome to the earth, come get in here, instead of like trying to orient your new your new everything after birth to a new place, because that can be pretty anxiety provoking for a lot of people. And a lot of times people are like, I meant to come 2 years ago. And I think that, I mean, for me, I can only speak to my own experience, but like things were significantly more, my nervous system was um, pretty fried
Hmm.
after having babies. So like new things just didn't feel nourishing to me after birth. So whether you're
Yeah.
pregnant, whether you have a baby that's, if your baby is 5 now, if you are freshly postpartum, if you're thinking about having children, if you are anywhere in the journey of being in a family, um, or starting a family, we welcome you with open arms.
But also, please show up with your nervous system fried and frayed and come in stumbling and bumbling and let us hold
Bless.
you
We
because
Yes.
will.
we are showing up as our chaotic and messy selves as well. There's.
Very good. Very good point. Very good point. We're not
I love that
anytime.
invitation.
And
Yeah.
there's always really, really delicious herbal tea.
Yeah,
So
and
bring your vessel.
what's great about that is because people don't think about how isolating having a baby is. And so to show up to Partum Gardens before you get pregnant or while you're pregnant really sinks you into community and then you don't feel so alone.
Yes. Nobody left alone. Nobody left inside. Nobody inside
Yeah.
their homes alone.
Yeah, and then also the fact that you have people coming from Beaverton and Vancouver, et cetera, is a testament to how powerful and how important Kindred Gardens is. So, just a reminder for whoever's listening to this in the Portland metro area, if you want to get your hands in the dirt, if you have some kind of specialty to share, if you're a healer, please contact Kindred Gardens. Please expand this web of community.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, come weave with us.
Hmm.
Yeah. All right, ladies, is there anything else you'd like to add before we end our time together?
No, just thanks, Belinda, thank you for not only having us on your podcast, obviously, but coming to the gatherings and offering your hands-on care for our community, and then also literally just pushing around
Yeah.
wheelbarrows of soil
Yeah.
with us and getting your hands in the
Get
soil
in there.
and making the world's best granola bars and bringing them to our
Yes.
community. All of that stuff is so appreciated. So thank you for your gifts to Kindred Gardens Growing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Wait a
You
minute.
radiate pure joy with it.
Which reminds me, are you guys listing all the events that you'll be hosting on your website so people can go to your website and check out where they could maybe want to tap in?
Yes. Yes, this is a good reminder.
Yeah, I see
We
that yes as
gather.
a, oh, right.
I know. I'm like, oh yeah, God, I gotta put on the solstice. We're celebrating solstice tomorrow, which is exciting. Solstice is this weekend, but we're gonna celebrate it tomorrow. And then Kindred Camp is every second and fourth Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get the calendar updated.
Okay, cool. At least, at the very least, you probably will post it on Instagram. So if
Oh
they follow
yeah.
you on, okay.
Yeah. And we're just there every Wednesday, unless it's like raining or over 95 degrees or this sky is filled with smoke, we're there. You
Okay.
know,
Mhm.
even if it's raining, we're probably there.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
glad I'm glad you cleared that up. A few people have asked, so like, wait, are you only Kindred Camp now? Are you only
right.
is Cardam Gardens a separate thing? It's all happening, same place, same time. Only thing is that Kindred Camp is for it's only for 1 hour for like really focused learning time for kids on the second and fourth Wednesday, but we do gather every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And we did our first Kindred Camp, and it was such a dream where the gathering was happening. And then in like the shady grove, we were making masks and
We were
singing
singing
songs.
songs, we were in our bodies.
So beautiful. It was like the camp was everything we could have dreamed of. So bring
Yeah.
your kids. It was such a joy.
Oh my gosh. Everybody just bring your kids at least once. It's
Bring your
worth it. Don't cry about the drive.
Yeah.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Heidi. It was so
Thank you,
good spending time with
Belinda.
you guys.
Thank
Thank
I'll
you
you.
so
see you
much.
soon.
You.